on this exciting new episode of the Points of Interest podcast. Fan Expo Denver 2022, Thor, and a bunch of other things. Well, hello, and welcome to the most generic podcast on the internet. My name is Josh Hawks. I am the 303 Ninja. Right over there, he is my podcasting partner for life. He is the other guy. It's Mr. Francis Fernandez.
Jazz hands. Hello, everyone.
Jazz hands for everybody. It doesn't work with the audio crew, but, you know, it's okay.
I know. Come on, audio crew. What's going on?
Do you remember back in the iPod days? And podcasts really started, popping off. And there was one format. Yeah. I can't remember what the format's called right now, but they were able to embed images. So while you had your iPod, your iTouch, your whatever, the iPod Touch or iPod Video or whatever, and you had the color screen, and it would, they would be talking about Snickers, and a Snickers picture would pop up on the screen.
It's just the important picture, really. I love that you go back to Snickers a lot, though. You have a definitive love for Snickers.
It's become yes.
Yeah.
It's inside joke as well at this point, but yeah.
True. That's a good point. But I do love that. That's Josh likes to talk about Snickers a lot. That's something he brings up a lot.
Well, if the Mars company or whoever the fuck makes Snickers were so kind,
I don't know.
They would sponsor us.
Snickers, yeah,
and then we could.
That'd be great.
We can slang Snickers. We can give away Snickers to people.
Snickers is got to be one of my favorite, not my all-time favorite. Whatchamacallits are still my favorite, but second. It's
hard to find.
Probably second.
Whatchamacallits pretty hard to
yeah,
find. Usually.
Luckily here they're depending on the city. Usually there's a lot. They have the whatchamacallit and there's another one. I forget what it's called, where it's more chocolate than peanut butter. I forget what that's called. And it's kind of the same name. It's not whatchamacallit. It's like whatchamadoozit or something like that. Okay. That's weird. But anyways, right. It is a Mars product.
All right. Well, Mars, there's 2 out of the 3 of us on this show can actually consume Snickers. So, the third one can watch us.
Snickers ice cream bar.
Oh, those are great. Or frozen Snickers.
Yeah, they're so good.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
I kind of want one now.
Did you see Thor? I saw Thor.
I did see Thor.
I saw Thor before you.
Over the weekend. Well, you saw Thor before a lot of people.
Well,
probably most people.
Because
except for the premiere.
Yeah, well, of course. But it does help to have friends that are more successful than you in the local scene. My friends over at Nerds That Geek invited me to the early screening. It's not a press screening per se. There is press there, but it's also radio contestants, radio winning contestants, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. People that won contests from a radio station or what have yous, because that's who the host was some jerk off from some local radio station, up there doing his DJ voice in front of people, and it just looked goofy as hell. But then they did some sort of, prize giveaway thing. And
nice.
Yeah, they had a Stormbreaker and a Mjolnir. Yeah. Little foam rubber.
That's fun.
They were toy size, but they were detailed. They were nice looking.
Cool.
One row of people won all the prizes, so it looked very staged, very set up.
Very suspicious.
Very sus, as the kids like to say, Francis. Very sus.
Yeah, you know that's the kids' lingo right there, for sure.
Yes. But I'm not good at giving movies a score. Mostly because they already have one. Ha ha ha.
I was gonna say because you're not a conductor, Josh.
Yeah. but not very Avenger-y Thor, but a good summer popcorn movie.
This is a pretty divisive movie. People either really hate it or really love it.
I've noticed that. I had no expectations going into it. I had seen very little of what do you call those things? The previews and the commercials and whatnot. Hey, Ginger.
No.
So, the little bit that I did see, I was like, oh, the Guardians are in this movie. Spoilers. They're in it for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, they're in the trailer, so.
They're in the trailer. They're more in the trailer than they are in the movie.
That's true. Yeah. They're right. Their screen time on the trailer is so much more than in the movie. That's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But not to spoil the whole movie because it did just come out this past weekend. But good summer blockbuster popcorn movie. Not very Avenger-y. Skater Girl Zombie. Liked it. Harley enjoyed it. That Harley is her little one. And I didn't even realize that was Christian Bale till the end of the movie. As Gore.
And the little girl is Chris Hemsworth's daughter. So.
I saw that the Chris Hemsworth daughter's in there. One of the young Thors was Hemsworth's kid, his son, one of his sons.
Yeah.
A bunch of the kids that were captive were actors and producers' kids from the movie.
Makes sense. It's it's a lot of people's. Yeah, they're like, where do you get cheap labor? Oh, I know, our children.
No,
totally. They gather all their children.
Oh, and it's a great way for them to
get in there.
It's a great way for all of them to get SAGA cards.
First IMDb credit.
Yeah, and SAGA cards, and that whole thing.
I like you call them SAGA. Yeah.
SAG.
Just SAG.
Yeah, SAG.
Yeah,
sorry. I'm in Denver, man. I'm not in the Hollywood land like you. Not up in the Hollywood.
Where I've going to SAG-AFTRA. It's like, oh, am I going to see any celebrities? No, because but everyone acts Hollywood there because they're all like people in commercials and stuff. So they always act like, oh, look at me. Oh, haha. Oh, I'm so much better than everyone I'm walking around. But anyway, yeah. Look, again, it's a divisive movie. People were very much either I think there's more people in the like camp than the hate camp because it did make $300 million over the weekend worldwide.
Just as an aside, though, it is a Marvel movie. So even if people are going into it not even or went to it not even interested in a Thor movie, it's going to make $1 million because it's a Marvel movie.
I'm just surprised no one used, my butt is Thor joke or something or whatever, right? Like, none of that ever in any of the Thor movies. Oh, my butt is Thor. But yeah, you get a nice lingering shot on. I can't help it, man. I can't help it. But you get a nice lingering shot on Chris Hemsworth's butt. So
that scene was pretty hilarious with the three ladies standing in front of him, all pass out when they can see his cock and balls.
Yeah, and then being disappointed when he's covered up. It's like, okay.
Yeah, that got a big pop in the theater for sure.
Here's one more jokes than.
Go ahead.
Go on. Yes,
no. Go ahead. No.
After you, sir.
It is my show.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about going to these like early screenings is that not everybody that's there is necessarily a fan.
True.
There's some people talking through the whole movie sitting behind me, and if I wasn't there under somebody else's name, I probably would have stood up and told them to shut the fuck up. But because I was a guest, I just sat there and ate my popcorn.
What you do is you start tossing the popcorn behind you.
Oops, I'm sorry, I missed my mouth. I have an eating disorder.
Just trying to, just trying to pop it in my mouth. Don't worry about it. I'm sorry if it's in you. Just.
I have throw your drink behind you. I have a drinking problem.
Oh God. Oh well, if you want to start a fight, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. Yeah. So if anyone who's listening or watching, if you enjoyed it, let us know. Share
Yeah,
your
definitely.
thoughts.
It was again. It's nice being back in the theater again. And it's what's cool about these. Let's just call them a press screening. No trailers. You get like the
But then you miss out on cool movies.
the hosting theaters. Like commercial, whether it's AMC or whatever the hell. And then it jumps right in. I mean, I didn't even realize that the movie was starting. I was like, oh, okay, this is the movie. Oh, right on. It's just, it was nice. It's a nice change instead of 20 minutes of, trailers and there's only one you want to see. Or one that you walked away and go, yeah, that was fun. The rest of them sucked.
I was kind of excited that they messed up on on the movie I was watching, because we're sitting there and they're showing these trailers and all kind of kids movies, and I thought that's weird. A lot of kids movies, and then right at the end, Chris Evans comes on, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, little Captain America. No, they're like, we're so excited for you to watch Buzz Lightyear, and they start like prepping as if we were watching Buzz Lightyear. Luckily, that wasn't the case, but it was really strange that they didn't take out that little bumper at the beginning of like, you're gonna watch Buzz Lightyear and it's gonna be great, and it ended up being, and then you just see Gore the God Butcher just like walking around the scene. It's like, oh, okay, never mind then. All right, cool.
That would be
strangest crossover ever.
Yeah, I mean that would just be a horrible dupe to get you to you're going to see something exciting and you get duped into watching that. That would suck.
It's happened before, so.
The Skater Girl Zombie comes in with, we had about 30 minutes trailers. I don't care about Avatar. Enough with the same trailers. I wasn't thrilled about Avatar the first time around, so I'm not too excited for.
What? It was a miracle.
Tree sex.
3D.
Tree sex is cool and all. I've been known to have some tree sex, but that I don't understand why people wanted to live in the Avatar world more than the actual world.
Don't you want to bond with your seahorse by connecting your ponytail with their ponytail?
Yeah, wasn't there tree sex
or
too?
Whatever.
Didn't they have sex with the trees?
Probably. I don't know. The only thing I remember is the dude was in a wheelchair, and his only freedom came from being in the syncing with that avatar and being that person. So
Skater Girl also said hated the first Avatar. Yep, I said it.
Yeah. Well, M. Night Shyamalan, not very good at adapting cartoons. So.
Wrong Avatar.
Yeah, even though that movie was called The Last Airbender too, so they made sure not to use the word Avatar in there anywhere, which was a very smart move.
It was. Francis, did you not do some things last weekend? This past week? Did you not?
A lot of things I didn't do.
Did you not do things? Did you do things that I would not do?
What was? Well, I've asked you this before, and I'll ask you again. When was the last time you've been to Vegas? Yeah. When was the last time you were in Vegas?
I have never been to Vegas as an adult. I've only been through Vegas as a child. My grandmother was driving me back from California once. We stopped. I'm a kid, so I don't even know where the hell Circus is. Is that in Vegas proper? Is that in
Strip?
Okay, so it's on. So we stopped in Circus for like lunch or something, or maybe a casino near that. Here, I can tell you this: the casino that we were in had a replica car of Bonnie and Clyde in it.
Oh God, no, that's a different. Yeah, there is. Well, the Bonnie and Clyde car, I want to say, is Fremont Street, but I could be
maybe
wrong.
that's where we were. Like I said, I was a kid. I can't. That's the only image that I can recall, and just staring at this car, being like, "Oh, there's no way anybody could have survived this." And how did they make all these holes?
Oh.
Did they actually shoot the car when they made a replica?
When they made the replica, they must have, right? Like
I
that's the
don't
only way
know.
to make it realistic.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I never got any answers because there were no adults around to answer them. So I've never been as an adult. It's something that me and people over the years have talked about doing, but nobody has ever pulled the trigger or let me or given me enough positive vibe that they want to actually do that. So I've never pursued it.
Well, here is your positive vibe. I'm gonna give it to you right now. Your positive vibe. There are now 2 White Castles in Las Vegas. One in Vegas proper, and one in downtown Vegas at the Fremont Street. So now you have double the amount of White Castle. And they're both, I think, 24 hours too.
Well, they should be. They should be.
I'm just saying, you have been wanting that more than anything.
You know what? And they would probably love for me to stop tweeting at them every month to come to Denver for the last 12 years.
Stop telling us. I know. We know. We're in Vegas. As a matter of fact, we're in Vegas twice.
Right. Skater Girl also does. Skater Girl Zombie also says Fremont is my favorite. The strip is so commercialized.
It is. I mean, Fremont, I guess, is a. I didn't get it. Well, here's the thing. I didn't get to experience Fremont Street because they had to shut it down due to a shooting. So someone got shot in the butt at Fremont Street. So
have you been to the Wicked Spoon buffet?
I have been to the Wicked Spoon. It is probably second to my favorite, which is the Bacchanal at Caesar's Palace. But the Wicked Spoon over at, I think it's the Cosmopolitan, is a very fantastic buffet. It's up there, probably top 3. I think the third one is like the buffet over at Bellagio. Anyway, so yeah, no, I went to Las Vegas. It's a different experience. The last time I was there was New Year's Eve 2018. Hi, listeners mate. Hello.
Hey, listeners mate. How you doing, man?
So I was there. So it's been 3 years since I've been, and a lot has changed because now there are. So there used to be street performers, or there are street performers, but there is one particular street performer, ladies and of the male and female variety, who would come out and say hello. Of the female variety, they're like, you know what? We're done dressing provocatively. We're just going to put pasties on for all the kiddies to stare at while we're walking up and down the strip, trying to solicit pictures from you. And they are aggressive. If they see a young gentleman by themselves, they will grab them. No questions asked. No nothing. They'll just grab them. Start rubbing up on them. Spanking them with their little cat o' nine tails, and be like all over them as if like just butter on toast. They're just all over those guys. And if it's a group of men, even better. They're like all over all of them.
Oh, sure,
just
sure.
Literally draping their boobies all over their face, and it's just, it's.
I don't think I wanted to be draped in anybody's boobies. That just says that's just not the visual I want.
I'm just saying. But
it's definitely not a church service.
No. It's so, even though there are churches scattered throughout, little chapels scattered throughout Vegas, so you can quickly get married at the very least. Yeah, but it was I mean, the overall experience, because we were down there to do different things to experience the Pinball Museum, which has moved and just says pinball now in gigantic letters, which is not what it used to look like. It used to be like in a rundown building with no. You just had to know what was there.
Okay.
Right? There was not really signage.
Okay.
Right. Like maybe a little sign in the front, but that was it. And then there's just like a bunch of new things. There's a bunch of things there that are just like very touristy heavy, but also not gambling and not shows and not naked people.
I mean, naked pinball.
I reckon
naked pinball is, that is a niche. It's a niche thing in the tournaments. I've seen it.
It is, Yeah, look, I highly recommend you go, Josh. I beg that you go because I think you're gonna have a lot of fun there. Just if anything, just people watching,
Oh, for
just
sure.
people watching.
Uh,
Yeah, you
we
know,
points of
we usually go
interest.
there.
Points of interest first.
Oh,
It is, but it's very expensive.
yeah.
Points of interest first. Photographer, Katie lives in Vegas,
There you go.
very close to the strip. So I know that at the very least, I may have some place to stay. If not, I'm sure she could find me some place that would be, adequate to stay at. I also
Oh
have
yeah,
somebody
as long as
to,
it's
to
off the
show
strip,
you
you're fine.
around instead of just being like, I don't know what to do. So it's something that
So
I've looked at pretty heavily actually. I looked for tickets around my birthday in the middle of
oh
September,
nice.
and flights were at or under $100. So I can definitely fly for $100. Listener's mate says, true fact about pinball machines. In order to do maintenance on them, you have to remove the balls from the machines. That's never good. This procedure is called dropping the balls. Very interesting.
I like to, you know.
And then the Skater Girl comes in with Vegas is great. Go in August. It's since it's so damn hot. It's hella cheap.
Oh yeah. It was 105, 106 degrees, and it was scorchers. Yeah, we were
Uh,
melting the entire time.
the big EDC electronic music festival thing takes place there at the
There you go.
Vegas Speedway, where they do the
Oh, there you go.
NASCAR racing and whatnot. So that'd be a lot of fun.
Very
I
good
mean,
reason.
you're going there to mostly go to that. That's like a $400 ticket or something like that. But it would be cool to go check it out. The person
look,
my dating partner and I, we've actually talked about it, fairly seriously because she's never been and remembered it. I'm not going to get into her shit too much, but
yeah.
it would be fun to go. It'd be fun to go, and especially if you have an adventure buddy to go with.
Yeah, and look, there's a lot of non-boozy things to do, a lot of kind of just more exploratory things. Be up at 3 o'clock in the morning getting a slice of pizza from Secret Pizza and watch a woman run into the line and scream, "Oh my God, someone just cut in line. It was so rude." And he called me a two. So rude. And I'm like, and it was so entertaining. Everyone was laughing their ass off because just this random woman was yelling at everybody about getting cut in line, being cut in line and being called a two
That's ridiculous.
of all things. Which I saw her, I'm like, oh yeah, she's not a two, but she's acting like a zero.
Right.
So,
What was not a zero
whatever.
when Skater Girl was out there? It was in 2018. It was 114 degrees at night, but the hotel was only $35.
Yeah,
That's pretty
that
awesome.
air conditioning is amazing and everything. I mean, look, there's a way to where you don't even have to be outside. Most of the time, you can actually be, except for crossing the street between one side of the strip and the other, you can be in the casinos all the way from one end of the strip down.
They're
And there's a
all
monorail.
fairly connected.
They're all fairly connected in some way, shape, or form.
That's cool.
Especially, yeah, as you go further down, they're just all there's literally you're walking out the door for 2 seconds into the door of another one,
Mm-hmm.
and you're in air conditioning, and it's amazing.
Well,
And
listeners
if
mates,
you're
go ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
I said listener mate is
Oh,
coming
geez.
in with, what we could do in August is go to the International Fiddlers Convention. And is that Galax, Virginia?
Yeah, got
First full weekend of August. So we can, Francis, we have a choice. We can go, well, I'm inviting you. We could go to Vegas and be in dry heat, 114 degrees dry heat. Or we can go down to Virginia and be down in 114 degrees wet heat. It's
I don't know. I was gonna say Virginia isn't that hot, is it?
I don't know. It's
It
in the
isn't that
south.
hot.
It's in the south. So to me, it's hot and
Gal-
sweaty.
Oh, it's Galax.
Galax. All right. Well,
Yeah.
we were
There
close.
you go. Galax. Yeah. Well, because it's like we think like galaxy. They're missing the Y for galaxy. So
true,
it's like Galax.
true.
So Galax. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm telling you, Vegas was quote unquote a trip, and worth going. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't want to recount everything I did just because it was just like just so much was done.
Sure.
Go to go to do. I'm just gonna recommend a couple places. Go to Area 51 or Area 15, or 51 if you want to. Now that they finally
Sure. I
admitted it
mean,
exists.
I want a Naruto run at Area 51, and then I'll go for a nice
Yeah, that's
stroll
right.
at Area 15.
Yeah, Area 15, great little kind of just a weird place with the 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 Meow Wolf stuff that
Hmm.
Savannah was waxing about earlier, and then go to a place called the Golden Steer, which is where one of the best steaks and old timey Vegas is. So like if you
Hmm.
want, we sat at Joe DiMaggio's table,
Oh, interesting.
and had like a tomahawk steak, this gigantic tomahawk
You had
steak.
a tomahawk? You're an
And
asshole.
yeah, it was great.
Ugh,
They,
so
and they
jealous.
and they make your Caesar salad in front of you. Like they actually build it in front of you with all the ingredients,
Oh,
like
sure.
on a table. And they, you know, if you order a certain dessert, they do it flambe, so they cook the flambe in front of you, and everything is very much an experience. So that was like a lot of fun. I highly recommend that.
I want to
That trip.
have a tomahawk steak so badly.
Go there.
I want to
It'll
have one
it'll
and then
it'll
pick it up by the bone and like have someone take a picture of me like
it'll yeah. Well, yeah.
and then a
It
picture of
was.
me afterward with just the bone. Ah.
It'll cost you though. I'm just telling you that right now.
Well, I know that. That's
It's
why
gonna
I'm probably
cost
never
you.
going to go.
Golden
But
State.
look, without breaking too much kayfabe, Francis, I was
Yeah.
out to dinner the other night with some peoples, right?
Oh, good.
It,
Very nice.
it was great. It was a great time. It was a great time. Good to see some people.
Good.
And somebody that don't break kayfabe, somebody that's younger than me, decided to pay for the bill, and didn't even. There was
Oh,
no fight. There was no nothing. The person just grabbed the thing and paid for it, and
okay.
it was cool. It was super nice. And then I started thinking about
Yeah.
it, and I got upset with myself because I'm in nowhere near a position I could even offer, even have that thought even come up, even though it would have been a cool fucking gesture, right?
Yeah. There
But
is
it
something about picking up the bill.
yeah, and it was whether whether the person felt like they were obligated to or wanted to is relevant to me, is the fact that they are in a position where they could just do that. And I'm just, like I said, even if it is on a credit card sort of thing, I don't believe in credit cards.
Yeah.
But like to just have the ability to just be like, no, 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 I'm buying dinner. It made me upset in the position I'm in life, right? But then I thought about it, and I'm like, wait, I was able to do this before. I was able to buy dinner for my people in the past.
Yeah.
It's not something you could do all the time. But
No.
at that moment, who did it at the time that they did it, in the position that person is in as well, I felt really bad about myself for like 20 minutes.
Look, when it's always tough when it's someone you're junior who's just like, you're like a party of 10. It's like, I got this, and then well, I mean, hopefully it wasn't that big because that's insane, but just them kind of like with no no thought, no like, no trying to show off or anything.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, oh yeah, of course I can do this.
Right. And it
Not a
wasn't
problem.
a show off thing. It wasn't
No,
a
no.
show off thing. It was just somebody being fucking nice and kind, but it just like in my head, I was just like,
Yeah.
ugh. And everybody
Yeah.
has their own fucking place. Like everybody makes more money. I'm the oldest. It's the same thing that we've talked about off air a little bit more so than on air. But yeah, it was a moment of weakness in myself, I guess. And like, there was some self-pity that went on, but I got over it,
Yeah.
It's just like, motherfucker. Listeners mate did say
This too shall pass.
if we did come down there, he would be able to get us a 10 by 10 vendor spot.
Ooh, man. I have nothing to sell. I mean, I guess I do have something to sell, but
Ourselves, man.
yeah. But actually,
We can
I
like set
have
up a kissing
books.
booth,
Oh yeah,
you know,
and it'll say who wants mono.
mono or COVID, and we could both stand there like this.
You're pointing at ourselves.
Right. Which one do you want?
But yeah. Anyway, so there you go, Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas. I got to be on a wrestling podcast.
Oh,
And
good.
it just like I surprised you with changing topics, was about as surprised as I was in getting invited onto the podcast that I was on.
Wait, I thought you volunteered.
I volunteered in the sense that the question was asked on the Facebooks, who wants to talk about X, Y, and Z? And I said, I can do that. I didn't think it would be for that day at that moment. So I answered the question on the Facebooks and I turned to go do something else. And I look at the screen because it makes a noise. And I know, wow, there's a fucking drag race going outside my window. So they invited me. They sent me a link to their live show. And it was really cool. The show is called Reels and Heels. I am very ill prepared right now and couldn't tell you where you can find it. It's on the YouTubes. I can tell you that. I don't know if they make an audio version of it. It's a long show. They talk about movies and TV and wrestling as well. So I got to come on and talk about my opinions of wrestling and some of the questions, answer some of the questions they had. It was a lot of fun to be on somebody else's show. Francis, you know, you're my podcasting partner for life. Every time I start something,
Yes.
you're gonna be there. Every time you start something, there's damn well chance I'm gonna be a part of it in some way, shape, or form at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we've consistently recorded together for like the last 6 years, pretty much just nonstop.
Pretty
Even when
much.
a show dies and a new show shows up, we normally just jump onto that next show. You know, whichever one of us starts it, and we just do that show and continue on from there. So, yeah, I agree.
Where was I going with all this?
Well, you went on Reels and Heels.
It was nice to be. It was nice to hear different voices, to try and pick up on cues, to make sure that I was self-promoting myself as much as possible. Except Francis, I did not have the sound the sound bite.
Your soundbite.
I did not have the sound bite ready. So next time I'm on the show, I'm going to hit them with it, and they're going to be like, what in the hell was that? And I'm going to have to explain it to them.
Yeah, they're 87 episodes in, it looks like. And they don't have at least one guest on, it looks like. So you were the one guest.
Oh, that's
So there
pretty
you go.
awesome.
Yeah,
While you're
but-
looking at that, listeners mate came back in and said, "Oh, I get to be on the Dragon Con Classic Quarantine panel this Thursday at 9 p.m. It's all about classic TV." So a little promo for listeners mate there.
It's a
Dragon Con Classic Quarantine panel. So I have noticed that Dragon Con kind of not only promotes their show year round, but they also have like this thing, like little movie watch parties or little panels of specific niche topics, like all year round, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, so what they did was in order to, because they did a COVID show one year where they was all online, and they're like, let's just keep doing this because this is a lot of fun. And so they did it to keep people interested in the certain topics that they talk about, because they have a lot of things they like to talk about. And as a matter of fact, a lot of these shows are monthly. So I am pretty sure there's a couple of people I know who are just doing the show consistently every month, a new episode for Dragon Con. I don't know what to get out of it other than to get to talk about it in like a known channel, but it's that's cool. So it's cool that Anthony was invited to be a part of that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It looks like it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's really cool. Oh shit! Fucking breaking news, Francis. I don't have a breaking news fucking sounder. It looks like the new pictures of the James Webb Space Telescope are coming in. The Points of Interest podcast has been able to obtain one of the first pictures coming out, and I have it for you here. Let me punch it up here.
Oh God! Oh my! What are we gonna see?
Well, that's right. You can't fucking you can't see it.
I can see it.
Okay, good.
See it right here.
Yeah. So it's a picture of space, but that sure as hell looks like Unicron. So
it does.
Oh
my God!
Look out into the darkness, they said. Learn about space and other planets, they said.
Yeah, it's more than meets the eye.
Swiss and bullets, trying to cuss.
Oh no! We don't allow that.
It flagged him. Swiss and bullets. It flagged you for the thing. Even was able to figure out that you were saying fuck, even though you didn't spell it right.
Oh! Are you kidding me? Twitch knows.
It goes through. Yeah, it does go to. Actually, I have it set to do that. In case somebody says something incredibly derogatory or something like that. Yeah.
Naughty.
Yes. Yeah, so it looks like Unicron's coming, so we're probably all fucked. Oops.
No, we're fine. The Autobot.
I gotta hit the right button so it turns off properly.
Oh, it's too bad you don't have the as it swishes by.
Damn it.
Just for this one, though.
Damn it.
I guess it would only work for this
I
one.
know, but damn it. Francis, where were you an hour and a half ago?
You don't bring me to the meetings, man. Bring me to the meetings.
Damn it. I don't even know how I would have done that anyway.
I'm sure with transitions you can put a sound effect to it.
I know the sound definitely, but the animation,
Oh, you would put the yeah. That either way though, that would have been like with the symbol. Oh yeah, you could have had the symbol in the bit.
Because remember it when it flipped screens, if it
would flip.
If it was if it was going into a Decepticon scene, you would get the Decepticon logo.
Yeah, it would flip from Autobot to Decepticon and vice versa.
And then later they brought in the cube. You remember the cube?
Oh, right.
Yeah, that was so dumb. I hated it. Because it was after the run. It was after G2 did its run or during G2. And they're like, let's re-air G1 and let's try and make it interesting for people. And they brought in a CGI Optimus that would like bring you in and out of the episodes. And this cosmic cube that basically took over the screen transitions.
It was in preparation for the movies, which had the Matrix. So they're like, we need a cube, and we're gonna have it in this movie.
Speaking of which, actually, the Michael Bay Transformers, the first one, is part of Fathom events this summer because it is coming up to its 20th anniversary or 15th anniversary of the original Transformers movie, and they're going to re-air it or what do you call it when you put it in the theater again? You re-theater
re-release.
it? Re-release it. You re-release it. So it's going to be re-released in theaters later this summer. In case you want to see shaky, crappy transforming Transformers.
Outside of Bumblebee, which is the superior Transformers movie, because it had the appropriate. Have you seen Bumblebee ever?
I haven't yet. No, it's on the list of things to watch though.
So the first 10 minutes of Bumblebee is like the first 10 minutes of the original cartoon where they're on Cybertron, and it looks amazing. Soundwave looks like Soundwave when you actually see him.
And he ejects tapes out of his chest.
And he ejects tapes out of his chest instead of being a satellite like he was in whatever Transformers 2 or 3. It's like nobody cares.
All three of them.
So, oh, was it all? Yeah, it's just like it was terrible. So, if anything, avoid all of Transformers and just watch Bumblebee, because Bumblebee is actually a really good film.
And John Cena's in
It's
it.
actually fun. Yes, John. Well, yeah, John Cena is in it. Yes, that's true.
But is he? Because you can't see him.
I know. See, I was like, it's too lame to go with the joke. I was gonna say it too. I was like, well, if you could see, it's like, I was gonna say, well, if you could see him though.
If you could see him.
But I'm like, nah, nobody says that joke anymore. Nobody says that. But apparently, I'm glad it's still alive.
Yeah, it's still
Good
there.
on you, Cena.
It's still there. I think I had one other thing to bring up before we got into the meat of stuff, and I'm looking at my notes, and the only thing I wrote down
The
apparently.
meat of stuff. Oh my goodness.
Well, yeah, 20 minutes left of the show, meat of stuff, but
I was gonna say.
I think we covered everything you did. The only thing I wrote down was the Basic Instinct Killer Instinct thing, but now I can't remember why it was so funny, other than not remembering
because
the
I
name.
said I don't know why you. I thought it was funny that you wrote it down, because I'm like, we were trying to think of. We're talking for the. Normally we catch up before the show starts, but instead we reminisced about video games for some reason. And we started talking Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, and we were trying to think of a game in which juggling was a thing. And we were thinking, oh yeah, it's that one game where, and you were saying
Combo Breaker.
I'm like, oh yeah. It's like, oh yeah, it's the Basic Instinct. And I'm like, oh no, obviously, oh well, no, stupid. Obviously, it's not Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct had that killer beaver move.
The killer beaver move, right? Crushed you. She crushed her with her vulva. And then you had.
Oh Jesus Christ! Where's Savannah to reel us in?
I know. But yeah, and then that's when I said, Killer Instinct is the name of the series. But
anyway, to get to the meat of the matter here, Francis, while you were gallivanting through Las Vegas, having a good time in the heat, in 115-degree heat, I was out here in Denver in 95-ish degree heat at FanX Denver 2022.
And how was it?
It was great. Well, first of all, we points of interest, we have broken into the FanX, bubble. Hopefully, we can stay there. Fairly, it was nice that the PR group at least I think took into account the people that had been doing this for as long as some of us had been. So it was nice to be able to come back to my home show, even though somebody else is running it now, and still be able to do what I do, which was. Well, go ahead.
I said
which was made fairly easy this year. Not real big on the celebrity side of things. It's still very much, if you want to talk to celebrities, you got to do the footwork, and we're not going to help you at all, which is fine. Right, that's the way that it goes. We've been doing this long enough, Francis, to know that is how it goes. That being said, we had friends at the show. Good friend, voice actress, and sometimes co-host to the Points of Interest podcast. Our friend Nikki Rapp, voice actress from the Walking Dead video game, Psychonauts. If you played The Sims, she was one of the Simlish speakers. She's been on here. She was a co-host one time, but we've had her, her audio and whatnot on the show. Ross and Rachel was your show. I don't think
so.
I'm missing the reference. I don't know who Ross and Rachel are.
Friends.
Are they?
No,
you're the show.
Friends.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. I still don't understand.
And they're friends. Yeah. They're friends of the show, Ross and Rachel.
Oh, friends. Aha, I got you now. I'm on board. No. No, they wouldn't be. I don't know. maybe I'd befriend them. They might be cool people. But it wouldn't be about, I wouldn't want to talk to them about friends. It would be about like other things that they've been in. But like I said, Nikki Rapp was there. Her partner AJ Moore, artist, was there as well. So it was really great to catch up with both of them because obviously, with a lot of people that going back to conventions, we haven't seen each other for years. So you hear that a lot. So it was good to catch up. Nikki is working on a lot of cool stuff that she couldn't really talk too much about. As always, right? But something that did happen last Saturday as of recording is the people that put on Psychonauts, they did like an online signing for some of the people involved in the show or the game. So her being a voice actress in the game, she did. And I don't really understand how it worked, if people prepaid for her autograph or it was something that was, excuse me, I got the hiccups. Or if that was something that was like, as it's going, you can, jump in and pay for it and get something signed. But she was doing a live signing this past Saturday. So it was kind of cool to learn about that, catch up, and, just kind of see what's going on in her world, even outside of conventions and work. Just because, we're friends. At least I like to call us friends anyway.
Yeah.
But what was really cool, too, is that she knew the people that I was about to talk about, who were also, as I discovered once I got there, our friends from Source Point Press were not only attending Fan Expo Denver, they were the second largest sponsor of the show. Now, Francis, you and I, well, I've known SPP a little bit longer than you. But
yeah,
even
still
when
don't know them.
That's that's a fair statement. But even when you were introduced to them and you don't really remember, they were still kind of a scrappy company. And
they were indie, so
they still are fairly indie. They are indie. But they were still young in their existence when you were first made aware of them. Now they're, like I said, sponsoring. They're the second biggest sponsor. It's really cool to. It's the last bit of the show. It's going to be fucking me just jerking off on Source Point, me being a fanboy. But
all right, you surround yourself with success. With Nerds That Geek and with Source Point, you surround yourself with people who have really made it and built it up in their own industries. So that's pretty impressive.
Well, it was like just
that you gravitate towards that.
Years ago, the owner of the company, Travis, he sat Jimmy McKnight and I down in a bar at a convention and was talking about how he just went LLC. And that how we both need to take our own entities into LLC. And it was just, he was just on top of shit, Travis. And it's cool to see him working back then. And then to see him, I walked through the door and the Source Point booth was right in front. I mean, they're the first thing that you see. And it was just, go ahead.
Well, I was curious, were there other publishers there as well, like IDW and,
if IDW was there, I didn't see him.
Okay.
There were other publishers.
You said they were this. Yeah.
Yeah, the second biggest, and the first was some digital app company.
Okay.
Kind of like WhatsApp, but it wasn't WhatsApp. It was a different thing. I don't know what it was called. I don't remember. I just know when I tried to download their app that had the convention stuff on it.
It didn't work.
No, my phone was like, "Are you sure you want to download this? Because I don't think you should download this." And I went, "All right, I don't need to download it then."
Yeah.
This was asked me if I had seen Christy Carlson Romano, and Will Freddy at Fan Expo. No, I didn't see either one of them. I actually don't. I don't think I've ever seen those two names.
Well, Will Friedle is
a
voice actor. I believe he's the voice of Batman Beyond, I think he's the Batman Beyond voice. I'm pretty sure. Christy Carlson Romano, I don't know, but I think she's also a voice actor too. So,
No.
I mean, you are surrounded by voice actors.
Yes. Well, Billy West was there, so that was kind of cool to see Fry. But
Phil Lamar?
Phil Lamar was not. Yes, he was there. No, he wasn't.
Oh.
I don't remember. It was
brought him his.
I could have told him. I could have told him that you weren't there, and that if I had a message to bring to you, or I could have found what's her face, Deanna Troy, and see if she had anything to say to you.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to. You remember me, the one who was trying to interview you, but you said to screw off because I don't need your help.
All right. So the source point. So Travis McIntyre, he was there. It was great to talk to Travis. Also got to re-meet Garrett Gunn. Josh Warner was there, and I got to meet. I wrote her name down. Hang on. Lex
Christy Carlson Romano.
Lex Lyon.
Lex Lyon.
So the Garrett and Lex, they put together a thing called Cudlee Kaiju. So now SourcePoint, not only is SourcePoint a comic book publisher, not only are they an indie movie producer, and all around awesome people. God. Now they're getting into the world of stuffies,
of merchandise,
merchandise, toys. Cudlee Kaiju, you get the 4 that are up there on the screen right now. I got to see them in person. They're cute as hell. Francis, you might be looking at those designs and thinking to yourself, maybe you are, maybe you're not, I don't know. But you might be thinking to yourself, wait a second. Some of this line work, some of this artwork looks damn familiar to me.
Where does this artwork come from, this familiar artwork?
This familiar artwork, Francis, comes from our very good friend, Mr. Jay Fosgett. So Jay got to come up with the character designs for all the characters, and they made prototypes of them. They are part of a new crowdsource funding thing.
Sure.
So you have what are they called? What are the ones that are out there? I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, you mean like the Kickstarter?
Kickstarter, yeah, you got Kickstarter and the ones like this. This is a new one called Backer Kit. Backer Kit actually approached SourcePoint with this project in mind, to be one of their first, subjects on this new crowdsource platform. So it came up by Garrett's brain. It's something that is his concept, basically. His characters. There's going to be a comic book that comes out at the same time as the plushies do. Lex is the one that put the whole display together, which looked amazing. There was a VHS tape, and it just put together really well. And I think everybody should jump on it, especially if you're into stuffed animals and plushies and stuff like that. Plus, it's SourcePoint, and everything they do is awesome. So I'm gonna stop fucking jerking off on SourcePoint. But it was great. I got to talk to Josh Warner for a little while. Josh Francis, me. Francis, Josh was the one that recorded my interview with Twisted at San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, very nice.
While you were off doing your solo thing, I was gonna attempt to hold the camera on my gimbal and talk and he was like, "Dude, I've got a degree in movie making." I'm like, "Here, you could do this then." But it was great to catch up with everybody. Great to catch up with everybody. Here's the thing, and you've heard me say this before, Francis, is that I know that you and I, the whole crew, the whole POI crew from back in the day, our mini crew with you, me, and Shelly, the bigger crew with everybody else were family,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what the hell just happened over there, but your screen looked like it just showed every color in the world.
It's the cuddliest plush monsters in the world. So go on.
So we're part of a con family. We have a con mom.
Yes.
You know, we have this like Detroit family, the Source Point family, right? We have this Canadian family. But I didn't realize how much of family I was included in until this past weekend with Source Point. Meaning that like when I walked up to them and started to say, "Hey, I'm Josh," they were like, "Yeah, what's up, man?"
Yeah, we know who you are.
Yeah, we know who you are. And I was like, I felt like I had to be like, well, you know, out of me and Jason, I'm the more quiet of the two of us. So I feel like I have to like remind you who I am. And they were like, why? You don't need to do that, dude. You're family. Yeah. And I was just, it warmed my cockles because it's been fucking 3 years since we've seen these people for the most part. I've seen some of the guys from Source Point last year, but the greater group of them I haven't seen in 4 years. So I like I said, I felt like I had to explain who I was, but I didn't. And
no.
It was cool that not only did Travis, you know, he was like, if you want to interview, we could talk. And I never got around to it because we just were bullshitting so much. I did get a chance to talk to not only Nikki Rapp, but I also got to talk to Lex and Garrett as well, which you can find those audios if you search up our podcast. I don't have any video of it because I didn't bring enough gear for that. But you can definitely check out what everybody's up to. But overall, man, it was a great weekend. It sucked that you couldn't come out and have fun with me. The ragtag crew that is POI Denver was a ragtag crew. We made it through. I actually got to introduce somebody new to the Comic-Con world, my dating partner. She had never been to one, and I was like, hey, let's go check it out. I could talk about that, Francis. Shut up.
No, but just the term. I like the term.
Oh, because it's either dating partner or non-committal girlfriend. Well, I mean, or hashtag girlfriend, not girlfriend. Like, what do you want? You know?
I like the hashtag.
So it was cool to. And here's the thing about going with somebody that's not content minded.
Yeah.
Is that you stop and you look at things. And you're like, oh,
you do.
Look at this. I've never seen this kind of stuff before. Look at this over here. I never even seen this kind of thing. I'm always running past this kind of shit.
It's my favorite part of a con is actually looking at the stuff.
Well, we need to do more of it.
Part.
We need to do more of it, Francis, I think is what I'm hearing from you. But, you know, overall, just being at the con, it was great to be back. As far as like size and everything, that in October, November last year, they put on what they said was a 75% sized show, which I felt was pretty big. This was supposed to be their 100% sized show. As far as the floor layout goes, I feel like they only utilized half of the convention floor, but had more stuff, more booths, more tables in a smaller space.
Okay.
From what I heard from numerous people, Friday was probably the biggest and for some people most profitable Friday ever as far as Denver goes.
It's good. Okay.
Friday or Saturday afternoon was so busy and so packed, I left for 2.5 hours because you couldn't move and there was no point in being there. If you can't move.
You had a table to store your stuff.
I did not have a table to store my stuff. I could have asked for sure, but I did not go that far. Speaking of tables though, Francis, I did find I did find an unsold,
stray table.
unused stray table. Here's the thing, though.
Nice.
I thought about it. I was like, you know what? It'd be really nice to just dump all my stuff here and just set up. But it was right next to a column, and it was blinded by one whole side. It wasn't a good place. It wasn't like the one we found at WonderCon or the numerous ones we found at WonderCon. So it wasn't in an ideal spot, which is probably why it was empty to begin with. So I just let it go. But there was an opportunity for the Points of Interest to have a live show at the convention. They had a creator stage. Over the course of the weekend, I saw somebody with their DJ equipment up there spinning. There was a lady with an It could have been. There was a lady with an electronic violin getting down. It was really cool. Saturday was the Charlie Hunan Day? Hunan Day?
Charlie Hunnam. Charlie Hunnam, which is he's the
I don't read
the main
very
character of Sons of Anarchy, and he was also in Pacific Rim and things like that.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, all the hobbits were there. They had a controversial guest, which was interesting.
Who's the controversial guest?
Gina Carano.
Oh, Gina Carano. Sure.
Gina. So of all the celebrities that were there, Gina Carano and Kevin Smith, possibly Anthony Daniels as well, were all behind curtains, much like Val Kilmer style.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Not a maze to get to them, but behind a curtain. They had their own like curtain booths, basically.
Sure.
I did see Kevin. Kevin was in his standard convention attire. All the clerks actors were there.
Shorts and a jersey.
And a oversized overcoat thing, sport coat.
Sure. In 95-degree Colorado weather.
Yeah. But next year, Francis, I think should probably plan to come and hang out. Make Denver a stop for you again.
Oh, well, yeah.
You got a place to stay. You just got to fly here, or drive or whatever.
Yeah.
Take a really long Uber or something. Great time. The one critique though I would have about not only the small 75% size show of last year, but this show as well from a couple weeks ago. If you're gonna put on a show and you're gonna have concessions, make sure there's more than 4 options. The 4 options were coffee, I think, nachos and a hot dog, warm nuts, and something else.
So you say, remember Philly? Philly didn't have much of a variety in there.
Didn't have much of a variety, but Francis, it was also a fucking small to medium-sized show.
Yeah, that's true. It was very tiny.
That convention center would not be able to handle 100,000 people.
No,
and
I don't know.
This show was pushing it. I don't have numbers, but based on what I saw and the fact that you weren't able to move mid-Saturday, I would say pretty damn close to 100,000.
All right, let's see.
Well, Francis is looking. I'll try and vamp. I can't.
That's okay.
I did all my funny stuff.
I don't think they're going to give numbers. You did. Yeah, they're not giving numbers away for it, but it does look. I mean, look, as long as it wasn't as crowded as Anime Expo, because Anime Expo was just.
I saw the fire department actually stopped people from coming in.
Exactly. Like
they exceeded the maximum capacity.
So how do you sell more tickets than there are people that are like how are more people allowed in than there are tickets? Because don't you account for that?
I mean, you're supposed to,
if you're gonna,
right? But how many shows? Philly's a great example. How many times do we go to Philly and see people with Friday only badges on Sunday?
Yeah, but it's easier to get away with there, I guess.
Well, again, smaller show, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that happens, but it apparently does.
Apparently does. So no, but Denver, yeah, that sounds like a plan. I like Denver, and I'm not attending as many conventions as I once did. So
Sure.
it'd be good to be able to spread my wings for stuff like that. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
But
well,
I'm glad you had a good time. Sounds like it was a lot of fun. Glad that you got to rekindle your friendship with Source Point and be re-embraced into their warm, loving arms for.
Not even be re-embraced, but just be embraced and actually realize that you're being embraced.
Oh well, yeah. It's like, why are these arms wrapping around me?
Right. Skater Girl says, when I worked in hotels, it was common practice to oversell because the average 15 to 20% will cancel or just not show up. Could be similar idea for ticket sales. I just broke my pen.
I mean, maybe, but boy, oh boy, every year Anime Expo specifically gets oversold and gets like, it's just lines everywhere. You're literally spending your day in a line if you want to watch something or if you want to go to a panel room or something. So it's pretty insane.
Yeah, lines aren't fun. Lines are not fun. I'm glad that we, Francis, we don't have to deal with lines with our level of celebrity that we have.
Celebrity shows.
So I don't really have a whole lot else, Francis. Do you got anything else you want to add in here?
No, other than
all right,
like I said,
great.
It's good to hear that you had fun.
Yeah, it was a great time, and I now that I've seen a couple Fan X shows, I'm excited to see what else they'll do. It was nice and very important to see that they kept the kids corral and the family section open and running, because that was the whole point of the show to begin with, was to make it a very family friendly sort of thing. So props to them for sure.
It's time for you to go to Toronto.
Funny little aside though, Francis.
Sure.
I was going through the security checkpoint on the first day, and I opened up my bag, and I just declared camera and microphone equipment. And the gentleman that was doing my security check had a flashlight in his hand, and he had the holding it vertically, and he had my bag splayed open, and this guy put this flashlight in my bag and moved it around, and never once turned it on. Just went through the motions.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I just looked at him when he was done. I was like, okay.
They don't pay me enough to look at every bag.
Right.
Look like I look through every bag.
Listener's mate says at the Fiddlers convention, about 60% of the tickets are sold at the gate. The other 40 are sold at the vendors or competitors.
Oh, well, yeah, that makes sense.
Or competitors. Yeah.
In other words, for the yeah.
And when I read that wrong in my head, as in like a competing fiddler convention. Like, why would they sell tickets to a competing convention?
Capitalism at its best.
No, capitalism at its best is when you go to Red Robin, which I get it. Not very many people go to Red Robin anymore. But next time you're in Red Robin, listen to the audio that gets played. It's music. And then all of a sudden, there's a commercial for Red Robin. And every time
Red Robin. Oh, that's amazing.
Red Robin, and every time it's ever happened, I've looked up at the intercoms and said, "You've won. I'm here."
It's to remind you to come. It's for you to come back.
I've already ordered.
It's for like the people walking by.
Maybe, but it's like I've already ordered food. I've already ordered something to drink. I might even get a dessert. I'm planning on stealing the shaker thing. So, like, what? You've already won. I'm here. Why are you still marketing to me?
They have food to give you.
And listeners may says
Eat those fries.
I love fries. Fries are like the cornerstone of every great breakfast. Listeners mate also says there's a lot of the competitors are there for the convention. Same for the vendors. Well,
sure,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I have nothing else to add. Francis, you said you had nothing else to add, so I guess this is it for this week. That's it.
We're overtime anyway, and you wanted us to be tight.
Yeah, tighter to start than to end, I guess. But that's it for this week. You can find everything at the YouTube page. You can find that at whatever the YouTube is. Just look up POI Podcast on the YouTube. Email us at thepoipodcast@gmail.com. You can call, voicemail, text. We'll put you on the show even. You can do that by dialing the numbers with your crispy little fingers. 314-764-7631. It spells out POI Pod 1 because at one time I thought synergy was a thing. What else is there? YouTube, Twitter, POI Podcast, Facebook, POI Podcast. There is some synergy there, Francis. I tried a little.
Good attempt.
Yeah, good attempt. Where can people find you and the shit that you do?
Well, my shit can be
the
found.
Shit that you do. You do awesome shit, actually. You do your shit's so good that your shit's in a book.
SincereSarcasm.net. That's everything. You go there for all the social medias and all that good stuff. So
I didn't mean it by shit.
It's funny though. I like it.
It's just slang, man. It was just slang.
It's slang. I know. Gotcha.
You can find me at 303_ninja on the Instagram, 303ninja on the Twitters. We'll be back here next Tuesday, same time-ish, same channel-ish, and other things to talk about. Also, Super Geeked Up. Yes, Super Geeked Up is a thing that Francis does on Wednesday nights with our buddy Jeff. What's his name? Jeff Burns. I had a fucking brain fart there. So yeah, definitely check that out if you're into geeky improv. I've been on there a few times and completely fucking ruined his show, and he still has me come on sometimes, so it's pretty cool. I think that's everything. We'll be back next week. See you later. Goodbye. Bye. Turn that off and turn this off.